Let's see how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah. I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat right now. We got Matthew. We got the Adventure of Fluff. Giovanni, appreciate you guys for being here in the chat. If you guys do not know, yes, this news came out probably earlier today, probably around the 10 a.m., 11 a.m. hour. But I wanted to go ahead and just do a real quick live stream here to obviously talk about who's potentially next, and what a huge signing here for the Arizona Cardinals, bringing back James Conner. Now, when we were talking about extensions or just who are we going to extend in 2025, I was always a little hesitant about talking about James Conner because I didn't know what the plan was, right? I didn't know what the plan was here for the Arizona Cardinals, but now the vision is clear, ladies and gentlemen. The Cardinals absolutely value James Conner enough to give him a 2-year extension. We're going to be diving into here pretty soon, as well as who the Cardinals could potentially sign a little later on. Do me a huge favor, YouTube family. Smack up the like button. Do it for the algorithm, as well as subscribe if this is your first time here. Appreciate you guys for being here. Let me just do a real quick shout out here to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube, and that's going to be BetUS. If you're looking for a brand new sports book, BetUS is the way to go. Currently, right now, if you use promo code YouTube150, they will provide you with a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit, and 125% sign-up bonus on the following too. That's going to be by using promo code YouTube150 upon signing up. Of course, bet responsibly and bet within your means. But ladies and gentlemen, a lot to dive into today because earlier this morning, we got some breaking news coming out here in the world of the Arizona Cardinals. Adam Schefter ended up giving us a bomb, right? Or I guess, what do they call it? Schefter bomb? I don't know if people are calling it these days. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're talking about here. That the Arizona Cardinals are signing James Conner to a 2-year contract extension per source. Conner is scheduled to be a free agent after this season, but no longer. No longer. Hallelujah. That's one question that we've already got answered, and that's a good question because James Conner has been a focal point in this offense for years. I get there is a concern when it comes down to James Conner when it comes to like durability. Is he able to stay healthy? I get it. Those concerns are still out there, right? But if you're giving a 2-year extension, this is not going to be one of those things that you're tied to him for a very, very long time, right? So for the people out there that are worried, and I don't know why you're worried, to be honest, if there's anybody worried out there, this is a good move by the Cardinals. It really is. Currently, right now, James Conner is 29 years old. By the time the next season starts here in 2025, he will be 30. But like I said, it's a 2-year extension. And guess what? He's still doing it. He's still producing at an absolute high level. Now, the compensation piece that you guys are all probably waiting for, right? Adam Schefter ended up retweeting what he put a little earlier. Like I said, this news came out about 9 hours ago. So we're a little late to the party, but there's still probably some people out there that don't follow me on socials, so they probably don't know. So here is the compensation update here from James Conner. Cardinals are rewarding James Conner with a 2-year, $19 million extension per source. So what is that? 9.5 a year, right? About, right? Now, we don't know a guarantee quite yet, but we do know the number piece, right? So 9.5 per year in a 2-year. I mean, it's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Honestly, I think, like my guy Matthew, James Conner is worth every penny. Absolutely. 100% agree. You're talking about a workhorse that you don't really see very often anymore, right? You're seeing a lot of running back by committee. Now, yes, has the Cardinals kind of dipped the toes in the idea that we've used Trey Benson, we use Amari DeMarcado. Yes, we have dipped the toes in the whole, running back by committee. But there's no doubt in anybody's mind that this right here, this guy is the number one sole workhorse for the Arizona Cardinals in the 2024 season. If he's healthy, he's going to be out there for the Cardinals. And he's been producing so well. Now, yes, did he have a little bit of a hiccup versus the Seattle Seahawks? Yes, he did. But everybody had a hiccup against the Seattle Seahawks. Our whole offense had a hiccup against the Seattle Seahawks. So that's not on James. That was just on the whole offense not being able to do a lick, right? Now, currently, right now, in the 2024 season with 6 games left, right? With 6 games left, James Conner right now is at 166 carries, 705 yards, 5 touchdowns, and averages 4.2 yards a run. Averages 4.2 yards a run. Not bad. Not bad at all. Do you think he cracks 1,000? Obviously, I think it just depends on health, right? If he's able to stay healthy, I don't think anybody has a doubt in their mind that James Conner is going to be able to crack 1,000, or at least to me. 6 games left with under 300 under 300 yards to go. I think he'll crack 1,000. What say you, chat? What say you, chat? Let's get to our first super chat of the night. What's up, BBH? Appreciate you for being in the chat, man. Thank you so very much for the donation. He says this: we better sign Buddha next. He's our heart of our defense. He deserves every penny the way he is consistent and vocal to rally our defense. Well, BBH, this is such a good segue because although we are all very excited about James Conner getting an extension, and rightfully so, right? He deserves every single penny, like everybody in the chat's been saying. He deserves every single penny. That it kind of opens up the door for the next person we need to talk about here, right? Who's next? Because honestly, you're right. You're right. I think there's a lot of people out there that are very, very interested to see how the Cardinals are going to be able to maneuver if we are going to bring back Budda Baker, right? We've heard so much glowing remarks about Budda Baker by Jonathan Gannon, by Monty Ossenfort. It just makes too much sense to bring him back, right? The heart and soul of this defense is absolutely accurate, right? He's still showing up consistently in a consistent manner. Who's there when he's not even in the frame in a specific play, suiting up like a rocket, right? Budda Baker, right? And to say Budda Baker a week or two ago already had 100 tackles and he's a safety is absolutely crazy. You got to pay Budda Baker. There is definitely no doubt in my mind as an Arizona Cardinal fan that I need/want him to retire as an Arizona Cardinal. There are those few players that you have in your locker room that you draft in your organization that you have to make a really, really tough business decision, right? And that tough business decision is, are you going to bring him back or are you not, right? This is a guy that I feel like is no doubt in my mind that you have to bring him back. You got to. You got to. I posted something here on my X/Twitter, and I also posted it on my Instagram. For the most part, everybody seems to agree with the whole Budda Baker take, right? But there are several people out there that are saying, well, I'm not going to overpay Budda Baker. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to play top market for Budda Baker. Why? Why not? Budda Baker is arguably one of the best safeties in the NFL, and he's still currently doing it at a very, very high level. If you want to get a player that will give you the heart and soul of what he can give you week in and week out and loves football and absolutely loves watching film and is a film junkie and is a football junkie, why wouldn't you want to bring him back in this locker room? I don't understand those people. I really don't, right? It's one of those things where I feel like those people want to kind of, gravitate to the narrative of, oh, Monty Ossenfort won't do this anyway, so I'm not even going to, I'm going to go out here and say, well, I don't want to pay him top market. Why not? I mean, Budda Baker deserves every single penny. Now, granted, James Conner didn't receive a crazy amount, right? James Conner didn't receive a crazy amount, but I mean, he still got a very, very well-deserved extension, and I feel like Budda Baker's got to be somewhere in that realm as well. Now, granted, Budda Baker is a little younger, right? Actually, he might be same age, to be honest. Let me double check here. James Conner is, 1 year younger. James Conner's 29. Next year, he will be 25 by the start of the 2025 season. Budda Baker is 28 right now. By the time next year starts up, and I mean the start of this year, 2025, in January, he will turn 29. So he's 28 right now. Honestly, it's one of those things to me that Budda Baker needs to stay. That's just my opinion in the whole matter. I don't understand those people that are like, oh, I wouldn't pay him top. I don't get it. Buda Baker needs to stay as an Arizona Cardinal, and I would love for him to retire as an Arizona Cardinal, truly. Buda is great. Buda is wonderful. You got to bring him back. You got to. And if he doesn't come back as an Arizona Cardinal, man, that would break a lot of Arizona Cardinal fans' hearts. It would break a lot of Cardinal fans' hearts. But at the end of the day, all I can say right now is he deserves every single penny, just like we're talking about James Conner. Because to be honest with you, I thought Buda would have been a little bit more higher in the totem pole. Now, granted, is Buda Baker going to be more expensive than James Conner was? Yes. Right? True. So, there was a report that came out probably about a month and a half ago now, and I don't think I have that screenshot anymore here, but I believe it was Jeremy Fowler that ended up putting out that report that said that the Cardinals and Buda Baker are in talks of an extension, or at least they're going back and forth with the idea that there's interest to bring them back, right? And I'm not sure if you guys caught that video that I posted, but the seed has been planted. The Cardinals want to bring them back. Now, obviously, it takes two to tango. It takes two people to agree, or two parties to agree with a specific contract, right? So if the Cardinals do decide to offer him an extension, and if he decides to not come back, then of course you got to respect the wishes of Buda Baker. But as of right now, I don't know. I feel like if you just at least provide the offer out there with Buda, I feel like he probably would take it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a little homerism here. Maybe I'm just being a little bit biased. But yes, Buda Baker to me deserves to get paid. Now, another thing, we've all been talking about, there's been this thing floated around that the Cardinals are going to be one of the highest in terms of cap, right? The amount of cap that we have, we're going to be one of the second highest, I believe, next year in 2025 when free agency hits. Please keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that we got players like Buda Baker, we got players like James Conner that now just got paid, right? We got players like Kazir White, like Will Hernandez is another one as well. And then maybe making a jump on Trey McBride as well, which we'll talk about him a little later on. There's players the Cardinals want to retain back in an Arizona Cardinal uniform. So although before this move was made, and I'm talking about the move of James Conner, we were projected to have anywhere upwards of $100 million to spend in this year's free agency class, right? With these moves that we're going to do with this, maybe throughout December, or maybe throughout January, or heck, maybe even before March when the free agency starts, that number will dwindle down, right? That number will dwindle down. So the $100 million that we're projected to have, it's going to probably drop down anywhere between $80 to $70 million, which is nothing to sneeze at. It's still a really, really good number to work with, but it really just depends on who the Cardinals decide to bring back, right? It depends on who the Cardinals decide to bring back. So there's that. Let me get to BBH. What's up, BBH? Appreciate the super chat, man. He says this, isn't Kazir White's contract expiring also? If so, keep him. Yes. I'm glad you actually brought that up, because I just gave you a list here of players' contracts that are expiring this next offseason, and Kazir White is one of them. Yeah, 100%. This is his last year under contract with the Arizona Cardinals. But not just Kazir White. You're also talking about Will Hernandez as well, which I believe, yeah, this is his contract year. Let me just double check real quick. I'm pretty sure it is. Will Hernandez, where are you? Here we go. Yep, this is Will Hernandez's last year as well. So you got Will Hernandez, Kazir White, you got Buda Baker now. These are players that you got to really think about. Do you want to bring back for another 1 or 2 year deal, right? What is the plan for the Cardinals to potentially bring these guys back? Now, I'm going to throw in a guy out here that I would love the Cardinals to jump on the opportunity, and obviously jump before it's actually time. Trey McBride. Trey McBride's another guy that the Cardinals need to consider potentially paying. Now, if they decide to wait for Trey McBride, that's fine too. But guess what? That just means that his value will go up higher, right? In this season right now, he is currently right now, while we're recording this podcast, Trey McBride is leading the receiving weapons and yardage right now, right? He's got no touchdowns under his belt. Now, that's not his fault. There was a couple that he dropped, or at least one he dropped that I remember on top of my head. He's been overthrown a couple times. He's not even been looked at in the red zone for some reason, but he's got no receiving touchdowns right now. Now, we all know when we see Trey McBride that he is a beast, right? We all know that he should be a focal point for years and years and years, that this guy should be him, right? We know that. Now, here's a big question. Do the Cardinals decide to extend him this offseason? If they do, congratulations, Arizona Cardinals. You're smart because you're acknowledging that there's a player that you're deciding to bring back a year before technically you have to, right? Now, here's the benefits of doing something like that. The biggest benefit is that he would be cheaper this year to try to extend him compared to next year. Let's say, for example, next year that the Cardinals decide to let him ride out his contract. Let's say he throws 7, 8 touchdowns, 800 yards. That value of Trey McBride goes up, right? Goes up. Now, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, I'm trying to do the cheap way here in terms of, oh, I don't want to pay a market. No, you're going to pay a market of what you believe Trey McBride's worth. But every single year that you delay this, right? Every single year that you decide to delay, the market's going to go up regardless, right? Whether it's the quarterback market, whether it's the wide receiving market, and the tight end market, right? They're going to go up regardless. So I think we can all acknowledge, chat, right? Let me know. Trey McBride also kind of deserves to be at least in consideration to potentially, maybe we decide to bring him back as well. So yes, we are projected to have $100 million to spend next year. With this James Conner move, that's dropped. Now, we don't know the number quite yet. We're going to allow a couple days for over the spot track and as well as over the cap to do the financial funds and do their math on their own. But yeah, that $100 million that we're going to have is going to drop because there's players that the Cardinals are going to need to make a decision. Budda Baker, Kazir White, Will Hernandez, do they jump on the opportunity to decide to bring back Trey McBride? Right? There's some big questions out there, man. There's some big questions out there that the Cardinals need to make a decision. So although, yes, we will have a lot of money to spend, it's not going to be as much as you think because we love to bring back our guys that we know deserve it. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but it's massive. It really is, honestly. I think at the end of the day, this move that was made here by the Arizona Cardinals is such a smart move. It's such a great move here by James Conner, and he deserves every single penny. He absolutely does. He deserves every single penny that was provided to him. Now, for the new people that are joining in here right now, appreciate you guys for being here. We got Adam Schefter dropping some bombs about 9 hours ago, letting the football world know that James Conner has been awarded a 2-year extension. 2-year worth $19 million for James Conner. And if you do the math, quick little math here in your head, that equates to what, 9.5, right? $9.5 million. So, not bad. Not bad at all. He deserves it. He absolutely does. I don't know if anybody in the chat thinks this is a bad move. Does anybody in the chat think this is a bad move? I'm just super curious. I'm just super curious. Does anybody in the chat think this is a bad move? And if you do, why? Because heart and soul of this offense. Seriously, he's a bruiser, man. He's a bruiser. Now, I'm already seeing some people in the chat talk about, is D-Rob? What is tomorrow going to look like? Well, for the people out there that don't know already, here's one thing you can take away. Usually on Saturdays, the Arizona Cardinals decide to elevate practice squad people or players, right? If they have a guy on their 53 that's not going to be able to play. Usually that's the case, right? The Cardinals will throw in we're going to elevate such and such out of the practice squad because somebody's not going to play. Guess what? The Cardinals didn't do that. The Cardinals did not elevate anybody off the practice squad. So what does that tell me? What does that tell me? We might see Darius Robinson tomorrow. We might very well see Darius Robinson tomorrow. Now, obviously, this is all based on speculations. This is based off of what the Cardinals have done, and we're just kind of speculating at this very moment. But it seems to be pretty darn real right now that we're probably going to see Darius Robinson's debut tomorrow. Now, please also keep in mind that if we do see Darius Robinson tomorrow, it's probably going to be on a snap count. It's probably what's going to be, just like it was for Baron Browning when we brought him in. He played upwards of what, like 29, 30% of the snap counts? It's probably what what Robinson's going to be too. He's probably going to have upwards of 20% to maybe 30% of the snap count. He probably won't exceed that. And I think the Cardinals have a plan. We heard Jonathan Gannon say that this last week, right? That there's a plan in place for Darius Robinson because he hasn't played a snap in the regular season, right? He's been hurt. He's been dealing with off the field issues. And this is going to be his real first official regular season game with the Cardinals. He played preseason, but other than that, that's the extent of it all. They want to be careful with Darius. So, for what it's worth, if his debut is tomorrow, then, ladies and gentlemen, let's all bask in the glory that finally we can see our 28th overall pick. But he's probably most likely going to be on a snap count, right? For what it's worth. For what it's worth. Now, JT, right? Jalen Thompson. It's trending that he's going to play. Trending. I'm not saying he's going to. It's trending that he's going to play. I believe he was actually listed as questionable, if I'm not mistaken, in this last injury report here for the Cardinals. And let me just double check here real quick, just to make sure that I have my facts correctly here. Because Jonathan Gannon ended up saying on what was it? Was it Thursday? That to wait. Oh no, it might have been Friday to wait for the injury report. He said, but Joey Blunt, Amari Mercado, Darius Robinson, and Jalen Thompson were listed as questionable in terms of game status, right? Game status for Week 13 for the Cardinals versus Vikings. Those 4 players were listed as questionable. I don't expect anything different from this coaching staff. Seriously, like Darius Robinson, not a surprise. Jalen Thompson, not a surprise. Amari Mercado, a little bit of a little surprise there, but it's not really one of those things that move the needle. Joey Blunt's a really, really good special team player, so it would be unfortunate if he doesn't go. But there's that, right? For what it's worth, there's that. So the Cardinals didn't elevate anybody. They could have, especially if they know that Darius wasn't going to play or isn't going to play. They probably should know that by now, or at least I hope they should know that by now. But for what it's worth, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like the trend in the right direction is that Jalen Thompson probably will. Unless something happens tomorrow, like I said, something completely out of the blue happens tomorrow and they just decide to not let him go. They're probably going to wait to see, obviously 90 minutes before the game starts. And if you don't know, it is going to be the first game to start the Sunday game. So 11 a.m. AZ time. That's when the Cardinals are going to be suited up to play versus the Vikings. Oh man, I'm so fired up about this game. We need this game. We need this game, ladies and gentlemen. We need it. We need this game so freaking bad. To me, it's the race to 10 wins within this division. The race to 10 wins within this division. The Cardinals need to get this win. I get it's not going to be easy. I understand that. This is going to be a hard-fought game. But if you want to consider yourselves a playoff team or a team that's going to win the West, you got to win these tough matchups. You just got to. You got to win these tough matchups. And the Cardinals right now have it still in their palm of their hand. Did they drop to the number 2 spot in the division after losing to the Seahawks? Yes. But we'll get another opportunity in a week or two. Or I guess next week, technically, because tomorrow's the game. So next week, we'll get another opportunity against those Sea Chickens. Right now, we got to take advantage of what's in front of us right now. Or I guess not take advantage, but I guess that's the word, yeah. We got to beat those Vikings. We got to find a way. We got to find a way to beat them. We got to. We got to. We got my guy in the chat says Darius has an 80% chance of playing. Well, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he hasn't been ruled out yet, right? Which is good. It's a good thing that he hasn't been ruled out yet. That's amazing. And he's been practicing for 2 weeks already, although in a limited fashion for probably most of the part. But I mean, yeah, I think everybody's pretty convinced. I mean, we were also pretty convinced last week too that he probably was going to make his debut. But I digress. I think we probably will, right? I think he probably will make his debut, which will be a injection of amazingness that can come out of this debut. We need a spark in this defense. We need a spark in this defense. We need to beat it. We need to spark it. Darius Robinson, please. We need something. And if he does, of course, he's going to get the Bird Gang all riled up. All riled up. So, for what it's worth, the people that are just joining in here right now, if you guys do not know, James Conner, 2-year extension, now signing with the Arizona Cardinals for 2 more years. Hallelujah. We don't have to worry about the running back position, at least for until he's extended, right? Until he's extended. So, Trey Benson. I was very, very high on the opportunity that Trey Benson's probably going to get an opportunity in 2025. He still might very well. I mean, you never know. Trey Benson might be getting more of a workload next year. Let's keep in mind he's a rookie, right? Keep in mind he's a rookie. But for what it's worth, James Conner does deserve his extension, and I'm glad he's going to be suiting up in an Arizona Cardinal uniform. Stay healthy and continue to work your off. You deserve it, man. You absolutely deserve it. Absolutely do. We got my guy Freddie in the chat saying, Mike, we're going to win. Well, I love the optimism. Love the optimism, right? So let me ask you guys this real quick. Right? I got the banner up here saying who's next. Who's next? Who gets paid next? Right? Do you think Buddha gets paid next? Or do you think they wait to the offseason? What do you think, chat? Do you think Trey McBride gets paid this offseason? Or do you think they allow him to play under his rookie deal still, right? What do you think happens? Is Trey McBride next? Is Buddha in the offseason or potentially in December? Heck, January? When do you think is going to happen, right? Kazir, is Kazir going to get brought back? Is Will Hernandez going to get brought back? A lot of questions. Right now. So, question to you. Who is next? To me, it should be Buddha. It should be, right? But the reports that we heard earlier, about a month and a half ago, or maybe about a month ago from, I believe it was Jeremy Fowler, if I'm not mistaken, from ESPN, there's talks between the Cardinals and Buddha Baker. There's talks, right? We got my guy Andy in the chat saying Buddha, then McBride. I love that. I love that McBride's being put in here because you're right. I mean, Buddha, technically, McBride doesn't need to get extended, but we've already talked about it on this channel /podcast, right? In terms of what are the benefits of actually signing McBride now as opposed to waiting, right? We already know who he is. We already know what he can potentially be for this offense. Why not just secure him, right? He's going to be a big focal point in this Arizona Cardinal offense for years to come. Just pen to paper, just sign it. I agree. People in the chat, Buddha first. Pay number 3 should be number 1, then McBride. Love it. Buddha 100%. Okay. Yeah. Okay. For the most part, everybody in the chat pretty much agrees. I love it. Okay. Well, for what it's worth right now, of course, we got a lot of eyes on what the Cardinals are going to do this offseason. I did think that the Cardinals were going to wait to extend anybody in the offseason. Like, seriously, I thought we were going to not even get any of this news until maybe January or maybe even February, to be honest with you. Now that the Cardinals have got this done, can they potentially sign Buddha Baker in December? I mean, why not, right? Why not? What's the delay? What's the delay now? I mean, you already did James Conner. You might as well keep it going. But like I said, obviously, and not our decision as fans. It's going to be the decision of Monty Ossenford in this front office to see exactly what happens. But I do believe wholeheartedly that Buddha Baker deserves every single penny, and he deserves to get paid what he's going to get extended for. Or if he gets extended, and if he doesn't get extended by the Cardinals, whatever bag he gets by any other team, he deserves it. Great player. I don't want Buddha Baker to be that player that got away. I don't want another of those guys. Calais Campbell was that for me. Tyrann Mathieu was that for me as well. I don't want him to be another player that got away. We got to bring back Buddha. Got to. So, we'll see. We got my guy in the chat says, "Do you think James Conner is going to have a big game tomorrow?" That's such a tough question, man. It really is 5-star. And the biggest reason why that's such a one of the biggest reason why that's such a tough question is because the Vikings have one of the best run defense in the league. They actually are number one. They're number one in being able to stop the run. Like, they only average about, what is it, like 73, 74 yards per game, right? So it's a tough like, if you're asking for fantasy purposes, I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me that. Like, I would love to say that I'm very, very confident that James Conner is going to have over 100 yards and a touchdown. I would love to say that. But being the fact that they're one of the best defenses out there in terms of stopping the run kind of gives me a little pause. It gives me a little pause. So the way that the Cardinals need to attack this defense, obviously you need to establish a run regardless, right? Regardless if you're going to get a yard or two, you need to not go away from the run. What I would love to see, obviously a good dosage of James Conner, but I would also love to see a little bit of a disguising, right? If we can put Trey Benson back there and not make it too obvious that it's going to be a run game. If Amari DeMarcado can play, using Amari DeMarcado as well, like, I would love to disguise it a little bit better, right? I get it. James Conner's going to get the bulk of the carries when it comes down to the run game for the Cardinals, and rightfully so. But I would love to see some more Trey Benson back there. I would love to see Amari DeMarcado a little bit more back there, especially in those runs in the shotgun, right? If it's north, if we're just going north, that's a James Conner type of run, right? If it's those runs that are in shotgun, those wide runs, I would hopefully leave those to potentially Amari or maybe Trey Benson as well. So that's just the way I would like to see it. But you also got to get involved with that. You gotta chuck that rock around. You gotta throw the ball. You have to. You gotta take the shots downfield, right? This whole dinky dunk type of things that we did versus the Seahawks, that's probably not going to work against this defense. I mean, it probably will in garbage time. It probably will. But if you want to be able to beat this team versus Sam Darnold, first force a turnover or two, execute and get points from those turnovers, and you got to score touchdowns. You got to score touchdowns. Do I have confidence that this defense is going to be able to get maybe 2 sacks, 3 sacks? Yeah, I'm pretty confident. Maybe more 2 sacks as opposed to 3. Am I confident that we're going to force some sort of turnover, interception, fumble? Yeah, I think I'm honestly pretty confident in that. Garrett Williams, maybe Max Melton can get involved. Maybe. I'm pretty confident. I don't have confidence that this defense is going to be able to shut down the Vikings. If they do, woo-wee, woo-wee, right? But like I said, I'm not going to put all my eggs in the basket. As long as we can contain Justin Jefferson, contain their run game, they're going to get their points. They are. But we got to take care of what we can take care of on the offensive side of the ball. And right now, we got to have a better performance than we did in Week 12. There's just no doubt about that. Yeah, 100%. We got to get Harrison involved early and not be afraid to take shots. Facts. Exactly. Get Marvin involved early, get Trey McBride involved early, and try to establish the run. You got to take some deep shots. You have to, right? Kyler's very, very... I don't know. I know when we hear Jonathan Gannon and Drew Petzing talk, they love to talk about the flow of the game, which is a real thing. It is. The flow of a game is a real thing, right? It is. But sometimes, like, you got to make that flow, right? If it's the right thing to do, you got to get these guys involved early. You have to. You got to. You want to stand a chance against them? You got to. Who can cover Justin Jefferson? Garrett Williams? I mean, we might be living in a world that we might have to double. I mean, we might have to, right? But here's the thing. If you double one person, you got TJ Hawkinson. If and then if you don't that, you got Jordan Addison. They got weapons galore. They got some good weapons on that offensive side of the ball. I don't believe in Sam Darnold personally, right, in terms of the future, but bless what he's doing, honestly. Bless what Sam Darnold is doing, because he is working his way into getting paid this offseason by any team. He's going to get paid for what he's doing with the Vikings. Bless him. Fantastic work. He's doing a really good job in 2024. He really is. He's giving his team chances to win games, and that's the most important thing. I don't believe him in the long term, but what he's doing is really awesome. Good for him. But you also got to make Sam Darnold see ghosts. You got to make Sam Darnold see ghosts. Pressure, 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 pressure. Get him on the ground. I just wish we had a defense that we can believe that we can believe they can do that on a consistent basis, but we don't. So blitzing, right? We might have to do that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe they don't double cover. Maybe they don't double cover. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do this. I'm curious to figure out how Nick Rallis is going to be able to maneuver this because they got weapons galore over there. That's for sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be closing up shop. We just wanted to do a real quick live stream. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Absolutely appreciate you. You guys going to be a huge favor. Right now, we are sitting here with 40 people here in the YouTube side. I understand it's really late. A lot of you guys got plans on Saturday, so thank you guys for even tuning in. Do me a huge favor. Smack up the like button on your way out, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you guys for being here, by the way. If you guys didn't watch the last episode of Behind Enemy Lines, that is also live on the YouTube channel right now. I'm talking to my guy, Matt One Bar from his YouTube channel. Really, really good insight there as well. Check out that video if you guys got time. It's about a 21-minute video. Smack up the like button, subscribe it up, ladies and gentlemen. And let me just do another quick shout out here to BetUS. If you're looking for a brand new sports book, BetUS is the way to go. Currently, right now, if you use promo code YouTube150, they will provide you with a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit and a 125% sign-up bonus on the following two. That's going to be up to that's going to be up to $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150 upon signing up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you everybody for tuning in. We will be doing a live play-by-play. Hopefully, our luck comes back to us. Fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you guys tomorrow and hope for an Arizona Cardinals win, ladies and gentlemen. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day, and as always, go Cardinals.